So I made the assumption that I had already uploaded every single great game from the most recent GSL Code S season. And it turns out there was one more game hidden somewhere at the bottom of my list of games to cast, of a game that I did not quite check out. And from what I understand, this is an absolute banger. You know why? People recommended this game to me repeatedly. And it's a mirror matchup. It's a Terran versus Terran. Generally speaking, whenever people recommend a mirror matchup to me repeatedly, it means that it's gonna be an absolute treat. So, spotting right here in the top left-hand corner of a map called Oceanborn. Playing with the red Terran pieces, we're looking at none other than Cure's main command center, one of the world's greatest Terrans. And his opponent, if I were to make a guess, probably the reason why this match was recommended to me, we have the most creative Terran player at this level of play, and he goes by the name of GuMiho. Now, I've already mentioned this, as GuMiho is building a barracks right outside of his own main base. GuMiho, at least in the previous couple of times I've seen him compete, has really stepped it up. He looks like an absolute world-class Terran right now, with really funky build orders, you know? Like, he's always been playing the weird stuff, but then when he tried playing normal, or he tried playing the standard, quote-unquote, standard macro game, that's usually when he falls off a bit, but it really feels like he has sharpened up his gameplay a little bit, and now he combines the crazy stuff with phenomenal mechanics, and it really is a sight to behold. So, this is Cure going for a double barracks opener. He is trying to tell the story to his opponent right here that this is just a normal expand over here on the low ground eventually, and that nothing really is all too worrisome, but in the meantime he has proxied that second barracks. GuMiho decided to go for a single Rex, close right over here at home. He's going to be forced pretty much now to go for a factory here as well. Needs to finish up this wall, because obviously if units were to run in, that would be a problem. I mean, the jetpack raiders can still jump up and down the high ground, but if you were to go for a low ground expo right here with a barracks right over there on the low ground, and then, you know, without seeing that second Rex, he would be in a world of trouble. So far, you have to take some chances sometimes in a game of StarCraft 2. So far, everything is working out for Gumi, and you know what? He does see what is going on. So GuMiho right here with the star senses. I mean, the star senses, also known as great preparation. He now knows exactly what his opponent is going for. You always know who you're going to be facing in advance in the GSL, so it gives you some time to study your opponent's replays. Now, this is always a very, very tricky moment, though. Fighting one Reaper with two. Ooh, he's actually hiding. Ooh, that's a cute little move. I'm assuming that was on purpose, but he was hiding that Reaper out of the line of sight underneath that orbital command, and now he does get the snipe on one of his opponent's Reapers. Not really what you want to see right here at all as Cure. And I just realized actually my scoreboard was flipped the wrong way around, as we have one more Reaper going down right there. GuMiho absolutely destroying this double Rex start, and now he decides to go for a proxy starport as well on the left side of the map. That little sequence of events, though, that we just saw was brilliantly done right there by GuMiho, and that's what I'm talking about. I don't know, it's crisper, you know? Like, there's a certain beauty in StarCraft 2 when players macro really, really well, and GuMiho was never really the strongest macro player, but I really feel like he's been tightening up his gameplay and his micro and everything else. Now, this might be a little risky, though. Okay, he does kill one SCV at the very least. Yeah, that Cyclone pops out. Okay, unfortunate timing right there for the player in blue. Only one Reaper manages to stay alive here, so certainly a bit of an overextension there, but yeah, knowing the timing at which that new Cyclone pops out is something that Terran players are going to have to study for a little bit longer. Now, what in the world are we going for here? Tech Lab together with a fusion core? Okay, this can really only be proxy Battlecruiser. Of course, naturally, proxy Battlecruiser. Now, this is great though here for Cure. Yeah, getting the catch on all of those units on the other side of the map. I mean, he could probably continue the harassment. He doesn't really know exactly how much there is waiting inside of the main base. There's that one barracks now. Very low in hit points. Cyclones don't have quite as long a range anymore when it comes to their lock-on, but yeah, as long as they can match the unit's speed that they're trying to chase, as long as they move around aggressively, they can get some stuff done. And GuMiho will be able to finish up this command center eventually. Now, did Cure see that gas? He did see the timing right there of the third gas geyser. Does that give him the information that he needs? Because there's only a handful of builds. The problem is, right, any sort of Raven play usually does force you to go into that third gas quite quickly. Yeah, there's only, I don't think it's enough. I don't think Cure is going to look at this and be like, yep, this is, no, he probably assumes that this is going to be a Raven opener here from Gumi. Anyway, so GuMiho. building the slowest unit in the game, other than I guess the Mama ship, but at least the slowest unit in this matchup. They take forever, man. I feel like this starport started up. Oh, he even goes for the Yamato gun. Alright. Anyways, it feels like this starport was proxied like 3 minutes ago at this point. Which is a long time, man. At least that's what she's... No. Yamato cannon coming up right here. This is a massive indication that he is not going to just be going for a single battlecruiser. You generally don't go for the Yamato cannon upgrade when you only go for a single BC. So I think it's safe to assume that GuMiho is going to be getting one more at the very least. I think usually it's 1 or 3. That seems to be the go-to in this matchup. Although, generally speaking, we don't really see battlecruisers. But here we go. Every science fiction nerd's favorite StarCraft unit, right? Let's be real with for a second. Every single one of you loves seeing battlecruisers. Even the Zerg and the Protoss is watching this. It's still a sight to behold. Okay, now this is the first time that Cure sees it. I mean, he does have the interference matrix upgrade done. The question is, when do you use it, right? Because you can only use it once, and then your Raven is going to be out of energy, and it's going to have to accumulate a little bit more once again. So far, this hasn't really paid for itself yet, and Cure obviously positioning those siege tanks in such a way... There's actually a third Raven as well, that's an interesting one. But he's positioning this in such a way that it's difficult for that, well, I guess, mechanical army, right? Yeah, this kind of looks like a Terran Mech army for sure. No biological units in the mix. It's difficult for them to jump forward, so that's... Okay, that's why we are ultimately trying to shut down those siege tanks. Lovely work right here by Cure, though. Keeps that siege tank alive. He does throw the interference matrix down as well on that BC to temporarily disable it. There's no stim pack or combat shields or anything like that. One of the siege tanks here will get Yamato'd, and that is a clear indicator that indeed a second battlecruiser is gonna be underway. First BC, I mean, now hiding over there on the side. I was gonna say, this battlecruiser though, gonna go after the first siege tank that it was hurting previously, that this guy worked on. I think he could Yamato cannon down another one of these two, and he's gonna be in a fantastic spot. With all of those siege tanks going down, it becomes more and more, well, viable at least, for this army to maybe jump forward. The problem is, whenever you make battlecruisers, you can rarely afford anything else. So GuMiho is building up some additional infrastructure right here at home. We've got ourselves an engineering bay coming up as well, so we can maybe add some, I don't know, some upgrades into the mix. Planetary fortresses become an option. You can make missile turrets, right? There's a bunch of stuff you can do. Okay. So the question always remains, right? Is it worth spending so much money in those battlecruisers, in all of this tech? Keep in mind that every battlecruiser, I mean, they're stupid expensive. 400 minerals, 300 gas. They basically also cost 1 supply depot each, plus the cost of, well, the fusion core. I mean, I guess you gotta divide that one across all of the battlecruisers, but it's an expensive transition to make, and usually these units, they fall off. They fall off as the game progresses. Now, so far, they have been really nice. Don't get me wrong, but Cure is managing to hold on here. He's got himself a third command center now morphing into an orbital command. Stimpack is gonna finish up momentarily, although this might be a nice little move right here by GuMiho. Okay, he's sneaking some Hellions around the side. I think getting some more SCV kills would be really nice in the meantime. Ooh, this is good. Catches a bunch of the siege tanks right there unprotected as the entirety of the Terran army, including all of the flying units, decided to go after... Ooh, okay, we jump away. All right. They decided to go after those Hellions. That's certainly a misplay right there by Cure. He should not be moving around his Vikings like that, but he didn't really know exactly where the opponent's BCs were. Maybe going for a sensor tower at this point would not even be a bad call. Anyhow, 2 additional factories coming up. We've got ourselves the Hurricane Thrusters, the Infernal Pre-Igniter. There you go, Caster Flex. Are you impressed? Anyways, this is gonna give him some additional speed and damage to this particular army right over here. Please be impressed, guys. Hit the like button. No. I'm not gonna beg for likes, okay? Like bagging, I would never do that. I just casually bring up that you could be gently clicking that like button below the video. I'm just saying, it does help me out a lot. I don't tell you to, I just guilt trip you into it instead, you know? Much better. Where are the battlecruisers at? The battlecruisers have gotten a nice little paint job apparently over here. Yeah, they got a nice little touch up and they're trying their best. The siege tanks, though, managed to get into such a good position just now because those battlecruisers previously opened up the opportunity by shutting down those, well, tanks in red, and that now allowed the tanks in blue to get into a really lovely position. GuMiho once again sneaking around the side. You love to see it. That's 10, 11, A lot of additional SCVs going down. Now 20 of them have fallen. We're even gonna set up some missile turrets over here, which puts a smile on my face, because that means that GuMiho is essentially making an expansion right over here on his opponent's side of the map. That Yamato cannon over there is not gonna complete, but the others are still putting in some work. And keep in mind, these SCVs that are used offensively to build some missile turrets can also be used to repair whatever Terran Mech unit here needs a little touch-up. Alright, Liberator in the mix. Love that play right there from Cure. Bringing in the Liberators is massive. Okay, that Yamato gun also not going to complete because of a timely setup interference matrix. And Thors are coming up here for GuMiho. So GuMiho, I mean, I love watching Gumi games. If you don't like Terran versus Terran, look, I kind of get it, right? Marines and siege tanks, it can get a little bit funky. It can be kind of difficult to understand. There's a lot going on. GuMiho, I mean, he does play that style as well, but GuMiho certainly has his own flavor of Terran, and, well, it's a sight to behold. So, playing heavy macro on the back of this as well. 5th command center even starting up right now at the 6 o'clock position, but Cure has managed to break this position. Those Liberators super good at forcing the opponent's siege tanks out of position, right? And ultimately, all of those Battlecruisers that we have, so 2 kills, 14, and 6 kills, yeah, these bad boys are gonna get shut down by the Vikings. It's a sad moment, but I want you to get your tissues out, because we are gonna mourn, I think, for the Battlecruisers here before too long. Maybe I'm mistaken, maybe the Thors can change the battle. Kind of forgot about those already coming up. But ultimately, the Viking count is gonna be big enough to fight these Battlecruisers. The problem is that at that point, Cure has got a lot of supply caught up in things that fly, but that aren't particularly useful against all of the other units that are left over right here for Gumi. So, you don't want to get carried away making too many Vikings. One of the interference matrices is going to at least disable the Yamato cannon, but GuMiho using this very slow-moving army of his to try his best and almost like contain his opponent on 3 bases. I would love to see like a medevac going across the map. Maybe try to put on some counterattack pressure, because Cure basically is sitting in this game right now and he's getting hit over and over and over again, right? I understand that, yeah, playing defensively is certainly the right move to make, but GuMiho is quite literally moving around with his entire army on the other side of the map with a unit composition that is usually played incredibly passively, right? This is a unit comp that usually huddles behind a bunch of structures and let the opponent come to them. So there is certainly an opportunity. Now, the Hellion run-bys have been quite good. Apparently, we're going to try and do the same thing right here with Thor siege tanks and Cyclones. Battlecruisers coming in from the north. Vikings right here trying to figure out where they're located. Interference matrices do shut down a bunch of the siege tanks, but a few of the Thors have found an angle. Oh, the Battlecruisers apparently decide to jump towards the Thors now that those Vikings were cut off. I don't know if that was really the best move, to be honest, but it certainly looks spicy. Yeah, the problem is those Vikings will still be able to find it. I think this is one of the original Battlecruisers, and this bad boy, yeah, that may have been the first one, ends up going down. The siege tanks and Thors and all the rest of it also do not really find a lot of success, and ultimately, lovely break right there for Cure. He does manage to get rid of that position. One of his issues, though, is that he doesn't really have any medevacs in the mix, right? So a lot of this bio army is incredibly low in hit points. Supply-wise here, things are pretty good here for Cure, but decides to land all of the Vikings. I mean, that, to me, speaks to the fact that he probably should go back to Battlecruiser production, right? But anyways, SCVs in blue right here are pulled away as well. The Liberators here do get targeted down by the Thors, trying their very best. Are we going to siege up those tanks in red? I mean, it probably isn't a bad idea to try and get them a little bit further forward. GuMiho desperately trying to hold on here. Okay, there we go. Siege tanks do now finally get into a good position where they can create a chokehold right here on this orbital command. Oh, this Terran army in red, though, is so low. Like, I feel like Cure is just about to drop 20 supply. Just by the Terran army here in blue breathing on it. Yeah, every single time these Thors are firing now, they're killing units. 20 SCVs have gone down. GuMiho losing a lot of that economy that he's been building up. Lovely play right here by Cure. SCVs in blue pulled away as well. There's not enough firepower here, though. Yeah, for this army, and ultimately, that means that I think Cure is going to be able to also cut the Terran player in blue off from their natural expansion. A couple of Hellions trying to maybe put in some work on the other side of the map. That starport has already been moved back. The 2 Battlecruisers from earlier, though. You know what? Most of the Vikings are gone. This is what I was talking about. All of those Terran units in red have been very low in hit points. The hero Battlecruisers once again show up. And there's nothing. Nah, there's nothing here available for these units to gun down the BCs. One hero Marine over here trying to reinforce his army. I've got a feeling that unlike that one viewer submitted replay that I casted a couple of months ago, one Marine is not going to be able to kill 2 Battlecruisers. I've got a feeling that that actually happened. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll try and dig up that video. I'll post it down below in the description of this one. We had a Battlecruiser. No, we had 1 Marine. I think it was 1 Marine killing 2 Battlecruisers pretty much single-handedly. How? I still don't understand how that happened. One of the craziest viewer games I've ever seen. Anyways, I'll post a link to it down below. GuMiho manages to break out of that contain that Cure was, well, making for him there because he lost so many of his Vikings. Right now, the bio army here, yeah, for Cure decides to stim forward, but there's a lot of tanks once again available. This Thor here wanted to move up the ramp, didn't really have a lot of space. Siege tanks in blue once again unsieged, and that creates an opportunity for at least some of that bio to move forward. Thor here in the back, man, constantly firing. Those Thors have actually been amazingly helpful. They must have all killed. I mean, the majority of them have gone down. It's actually 9 in total that have fallen, but I think they must have been responsible for essentially killing all of the Vikings, both in their flying form, but also when they landed on the ground. Overextension right there from Cure for sure. Liberator over here will get shut down, but not before killing 3 SCVs. Maybe Cure didn't even realize that that base was already taken there, actually, when he first moved across the map. Battlecruiser, 16 kills. Okay, decides to jump back, 22 kills on the other one. Trying his very best to just move forward, and I think GuMiho has now basically done the reverse Uno on the other side of the map. Now he has cut his opponent off from their 3rd base, and that means that this expansion, the 12 o'clock position, is in a world of trouble. GG is cold, and it's GuMiho who obtains the victory. Beautiful game of StarCraft 2. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get notified when new videos go live. I try to upload new videos pretty much every single day. And of course, if you enjoy watching these videos, you may want to check out my second YouTube channel too. That's youtube.com/morelowko, which is where I upload completed games that I have live streamed. For now though, have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to smile. And I'll see you once again tomorrow for another video.